Hey, how's it going, everyone? Justin again, as always. Thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. It's been a few days since I did a live stream, and of course I take my live streams down, but I was letting everyone know during the live stream that I have essentially hung up the wrenches. I'm no longer a mechanic over at Chrysler, and I've decided to take my life a different direction. What direction I go into next it's a mystery. It's going to be an adventure. I really don't know. But I did have a discussion with Ed, the old tech guy, and a nice handful of you that were there in the live chat. I think we had probably a little over 100 people at one point in time in there, kind of discussing different things that I could potentially step into next. But I did apply for Riverside County Sheriff's Department, not knowing about the actual test, just was told that it was an exam. I think it's going to be much like the ASVAB, so to speak. So I may cancel the exam date and then reschedule it for a later date once I had a chance to actually study for it. But that being said, currently I'm kind of doing a little bit of boat work. I'm kind of restoring some boats and stuff like that just to see what direction that goes into. I have looked around town to try to see if I could find something a little more local to where I can still play an active role in the community as umpire-in-chief. For those of you that don't know, I'm on the directors and I'm trying to help out with helping with the umpiring of certain games. My daughter's playing baseball and I'm a head coach for her team in the rookie division for the White Sox. We won our first game. Our second game will be right after we get back from spring break. I have also applied for Harbor Freight to go work as a retail clerk. I do not know when I will have that interview, but did talk to management. And as soon as they get the application, they'll review it. They'll reach out to me, and I may end up going to work at Harbor Freight full-time for a little while. I don't know. Like I said, right now I'm just trying to find something that's not so stressful. I got a lot of things right now on the outside of the work environment that I'm having to deal with between baseball and then personal matters that I'm trying to get across. But once those things have cleared, maybe I will have a better idea of what direction I want to go into next. I did make mention a few years back that I did feel like my body was kind of wearing down, and I didn't believe that I was going to be doing this forever, how long I was going to do it for. I was kind of stretching it for at least 6 years. We made a couple more years after that. I think I had, from that conversation, I think I pulled another year at the independent and then a year and a half over at the dealership. So nearing almost the 3-year mark from when I had said, I was kind of getting a little bit burnt out on the whole thing, but, still went through it, still went through the training, kind of got remotivated a little bit when I went to the dealership. And then, of course, over time, just kind of started feeling a little bit, just not with it, okay? My head wasn't in the game. I don't know. It's not saying that I'll never work on cars ever again. I might not work on them for other people. Might work on them just for myself or maybe some friends and family. But I don't really have any intentions of going to another shop to work on cars anymore. I had thought about the possibility of going to an independent shop. But, some things didn't work out. And I decided, you know what? Maybe it's just in my best interest to think outside the box and try to go another direction. Some people said, you can get into heavy equipment, you can get into diesel. All these things sound pretty reasonable since I have a 2-year degree in it. But the fact of the matter is I don't want to work on cars for a living on the day-to-day anymore. You get kind of burnt out over time, and I think you kind of lose your desire and passion of even working on anything. So when you get home and you have some kind of mechanical failure on your own vehicle or motorcycle or whatever, the last thing you really want to do is pick up a wrench and keep on wrenching, but when you get home, am I right? So for me, I think I'm going to go another direction. Like I said, I'd looked into law enforcement. I'd looked into being a retail clerk and some kind of working with tools still. Maybe I can see some of the newest and latest and greatest things that are coming up from Harbor Freight and kind of get first look, first peek for you guys. Maybe I can bring that to the channel, kind of get remotivated back into YouTube. That's something that I kind of wanted to do too. Wasn't a lot of freedom of speech over at the dealership, There was a lot of things that I couldn't talk about. And even when I tried to be vague, even some of those videos were a little controversial in the fact that I would get pulled into the office and I'd have to talk about certain parameters and things that I couldn't talk about. And it was just really kind of walking a fine line there And I think that was also kind of burning me out a little bit too. So, I was kind of getting tired of working on cars in general, and it was getting harder for me to make percentages. And like I said, I had a lot of outside stuff that was kind of affecting me and my ability to work at the dealership. Love the people there, love the training there. I definitely would consider going back to work at a dealership, but maybe not as a mechanic. So it's not saying that I'd never go back to work for the dealership. I very well could see myself going back and working for the dealership, maybe not as a mechanic, but maybe something in sales, like car sales. I was in car sales in like the 2006 to 2007 kind of area. And I was in detailing from like the early 2007 to about like summertime-ish when I left and then got deployed for the first time. So, I got experience in different areas of the industry. Service writing, maybe that could be a thing too. I'm definitely a people person. I'm people-oriented. I like communicating with people and learning about their interests and what they like and things like that. You guys know I like talking about tools and things. Thus, I decided, hey, you know what? Maybe one of those stepping stones for me is to go work on the retail side at Harbor Freight for a little bit. Maybe work my way up into like an assistant manager to a managerial position. And then maybe if I've been with the company long enough, maybe there's a way that between working at their store at the entry level, maybe over time I can go and work at the corporate level. I don't know. Who knows what direction life's going to go, I could very well go into law enforcement too. Right now I've got a couple of little applications kind of floating out there for different things and different areas that is not mechanic based. Like I said, I don't mind working on my own stuff. I may very well have a DIY project sometime down the road that we'll tinker on here at the house, and we'll work on it little by little, kind of do like the Eric the Car Guy thing where we've got a vehicle and we just do like one little repair and we focus on that because you guys have asked for how-to stuff. I don't really do a lot of how-tos, especially when I'm at work, because it's too hard to maintain my focus at work and show you guys a how-to. Not to mention, I really wasn't allowed to film anything that I was doing at the dealership, which also makes it really, really hard. Again, that whole Second Amendment thing, freedom of speech, freedom of, showing people things that I do. It was just, there was too many politics in that kind of area that really made it difficult for me to be as regular on YouTube as I was in the past. When I was at the independent shop, I was able to show just about everything. I was able to talk about just about everything. That all changed, and I was aware that it was going to change, but to what degree I wasn't sure until I actually went through it. And, here we are. Like I said, I got some outside stuff that I got to take care of. Hopefully, it'll be wrapped up here by the end of the month, beginning of the next month. I've got my feelers out there in different areas to see what it is that I want to do with the next phase of my life. But at any rate, just figured I'd fill you guys in, let you guys know what's going on, catch up to speed. I am back in black here at the old House of Ruski with the toolbox at home. And we'll just see what adventures we have up and coming. So stay tuned, stick with me. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend and stay greasy. We'll see you guys next time. Deuces.